Hello, my name is Nadia Strachan and I am your design consultant for today. Now, thank you so much for choosing to download this design consultation, and I'm going to walk you through it. I'm just going to let you know that with a design consultation there are 4 sections. Section 1 is the video that I'm presenting to you today, and I will talk you through just the different aspects of that. And then next part will be the actual pictures. So there are actual photos that you saw on the website that prompted you to actually download the consultation. And then in section 2 as well, you're going to have a photo analysis. So there's going to be an analysis of the actual your pictures as well. So it tells you a little bit about it, what the style means, and what it means in this scenario as well. And then also the next part, you're going to be looking at sections 3 and 4, which are the key and the actual spreadsheet for all your products that you're going to require in order to put your scheme together. And also there'll be a video, a part 2 video that will explain that part to you. So this section explains sections 1 and 2, and the next video explains sections 3 and 4. Okay, so it's in 4 sections for you. So as we go on, so the first thing I would say, please print out, as I have done here, print out your design consultation. You see I've printed that out there. Okay, and so this is a 20-bedroom boutique hotel business. Now it's a commercial interior. Now you don't have to have a 20-bedroom hotel in order for this to relate to you. So just so you're aware, you do not have to have a 20-bedroom hotel. What you can do, if you have a hotel business or a bed and breakfast or something like that, if it's smaller, if it could be you have 2 rooms to rent, but you just want a beautiful hallway, you can pare it down to work with your interior for your commercial interior. It may not be a B&B at all. You just decide that you want that hallway, because that hallway, let's face it, is absolutely stunning, isn't it? Absolutely stunning hallway. This hallway will work better for you. Maybe you have a music business. You see there's a piano in the foreground. Maybe you have a school or a design business, and maybe that works for you. So whatever your business is, you can either, depending on the space you've got, you can either pare it down or you can add items to make it larger as well. So that's up to you. So you make it fit your space. Now I'm going to be looking at this as though it's a gold scheme. As I said, there's a bronze, silver and a gold scheme. The gold scheme price point is the higher bracket. Your prices are given in UK and US. I'm in the UK at the moment. I'm given in UK and US because the UK price mainly attributes to most of Europe. So if you're anywhere in Europe and you're looking at this and you use sort of the euro as your currency, or the I think it's only UK use the pound, but anyway use the euro as your currency, then the UK part of the scheme will the UK scheme will apply to you. If you're anywhere in the Americas and use the dollar, then the US will apply to you. So I've just gone with those 2. If you're somewhere outside of that and you don't have the euro or you don't have the dollar, then whatever currency you use, if you look at the website, you'll be able to get an idea and see what stores there are where you are that will give you the same look as well. So you still can make it work for you. Now, I truly believe that interiors have the ability to change your story. And when you change your story, you in turn will change your life. I've been working as a designer for well over 20 or more years, well over 20 years. I've been working as a designer, and I've seen people's lives change in the smallest to the largest way by changing their story of their interiors. When you walk into your home, if you look at my hallway there, it's a small hallway, but you can see I have a penchant for the checkerboard flooring, much like in this. It's a smaller scale. So what, as I said, you can pare things down. These are much larger tiles here for this scheme, but in my hallway, it's a smaller hallway. I've gone for a smaller checkerboard flooring, and that works beautifully in my hallway, as you can see. So that works whatever the size, because I do like the more sort of colonial edge with a sort of a bit of a contemporary twist to the colonial feel. So I've gone for that mixture with mine. This is stunning. It's beautiful. The colonial era deals with everything that's Georgian, from the Georgian era. Now, the Georgian era lasted that was the longest era. Before that, we had the Victorian, and the Victorian era, okay, the Victorian era was more dark and, you know, crowded, lots of things in the room and darker and, you know, and lots of heavy drapes. Whereas the Georgian era got lighter and lighter and lighter, bigger windows, lots of light flooding in. And so you can see here, with this Georgian theme, there's lots of light. Now, it doesn't matter if you don't have natural daylight coming into your hallway space. You can use the lighting. Can you see I've got this beautiful lantern? Originally, this would have been candle lights in this sort of pendant lighting, but now we've got electricity, of course, okay? But on the walls as well, you can see here, I've got these beautiful, similar styled lighting on the walls as well. So if you have a hallway and you don't have natural daylight coming in, not many hallways do, that's not a problem. Make use of your overhead ambient lighting from that beautiful pendant that you've got here. And then also those beautiful atmospheric lights that you can get from the wall lights as well. So make use of those, and that will create a beautiful scheme for you. Now, you may think, I like this scheme and I downloaded it and I don't really have gold scheme money. Don't worry, that's not a problem at all. There are other ways to get around it. There's a full DIY. There's a DIY whereby you do everything yourself. Obviously, you're going to purchase all the items, order and purchase all the items yourself. And then also there is, and then once you've ordered everything and purchased everything, then you're going to install everything yourself. So you're going to do the floors, you're going to do all the painting yourself, everything yourself. And so that scheme will probably take you about 2 months to order everything and to paint and to put everything in place, the flooring. One thing I would say, I am more in favor of the part DIY and the part trade. The reason being is because if you're not an electrician, please get trade to install your electrics. It's something that's very important. Get trades to install your electrics. I know that you can find a lot of things out from YouTube, and you can learn how to do things yourself, but it's important for your health and your safety that it's done right, and also that it's signed off as well. And you'll be able to get a guarantee with that. And so it's also as well, if you're going to buy second-hand fittings, get them tested before they're installed. If you're an electrician yourself and you know somebody who is an electrician, then great. You're going to save a lot of money. But if you are going to buy these brand new, I'd say, and you're going to install them yourself, that's another way to do it as well. It's entirely up to you, whichever route you decide to go, whether to go second hand or you go completely brand new. All of the specs I've given are for if you're going to go brand new, but obviously you can find things at auctions or secondhand places that fit the bill just as well. And I say go with that if you can go with it. Okay. Now, the lifestyle scenarios. As I said, this is a 20-bed boutique hotel, and this is the Mendoza family, and this is the lovely Mendoza ladies, mother and two daughters, who are very happy and enjoying their lives. And this is their beautiful foyer where they welcome their guests into this wonderful lovers hotel. That's what I call it. It's a hotel of love. It's a stately chic hotel, and you can tell that just as soon as you walk in. As I say, the beautiful lighting. The floor is a polished porcelain or polished ceramic, highly polished floor. Very important element in this, so the light bounces all around, and also it gives that immediate feel of richness and warmth, and it just makes it has such a feel good element to it. I'd say please don't go matte on the floor for this scheme. I'd go stay polished for this scheme, or if you want to go satin, maybe that's the most I would go to, but I would really say stick with polished if you can for this scheme. You would notice that you will really know the difference. A satin gives a slight sheen, but not as rich and as vibrant as the gloss. So you want a highly polished look to this scheme, and I think this is the way to go with this one. The balustrades, there's so many companies that do balustrades now that you can buy them sort of literally almost off the peg, and they are a great price. They're not as expensive as you think. And sometimes you can buy it off the peg, and somebody just comes and measures up for you, and then you get it installed. You can either they can install it for you, which I recommend, or if you're very capable with DIY, you can install it yourself. So that's a wonderful way to go. Install it yourself if you're capable. That will save you an awful lot of money as well. With the sofa, lots of companies that sell this style of sofa. It's usually a bespoke thing whereby you can order the fabric yourself. Now, the fabric, because we've got a black and white floor, a black and white fabric is what you want to go with. You may think, I'm not too keen on that striped fabric, it's a bit much for me. Don't worry. I would say go, there's a couple of other ways you can go. You can either go a complete black sofa with maybe a little embossed print on it, and that will look beautiful, and stick to sort of like a sort of a raw sort of silk look to it. Or you can go a white one. It's harder to keep clean, a white one. But I would say if you're not going to go striped, I would go with a black seat and a white back. A black seat and a white back. And then the armrests, make those black as well, because they get a lot of sort of wear, and dirt can build up on there. So if you don't want to have to clean it all the time, go for a black seat and then the actual back of this sofa to make that white, and so that you get that black and white element to get the best of both worlds. So if you don't want to go with the striped element, I have put on the specifications where you grab the fabric from, and so I've given you the option of either getting the striped fabric or getting black or white, or you can mix the black and white, whichever way you want to go. So I've given you those elements of the three, so you can go with those options. So you've got an option 1, 2, 3, 1, 2 or 3 options. It's entirely up to you which way you decide to do it. Okay. With the frame, if you're going to get second hand, here's the thing you need to know. Very important. Okay. If you are going to get a second-hand sofa, it's a beautiful sofa, and you may think it's only a 2-seater sofa. You may find something very similar in a second-hand store or somewhere like that, okay, and you want to DIY the sofa yourself. Great idea. Please change the interiors of the sofa. Oh, please, please, please. The reason I say is because it's a lot like having a new mattress. Okay, we generally don't go for a second-hand mattress, and the same with interiors and second-hand furniture. I would say strip it out. Go to a shop that sells the fabric, and they usually sell upholstery interiors for your sofa as well. Get it cut to size, and then you can staple it in place and then replace the fabric if you're going to do the DIY route, or you can give it to somebody and they can do it for you. The frame itself, if you find a sofa and it's very similar to this, but it's got a wooden frame, you can spray, it's just a can of spray paint. Make sure you strip it first, sand it, clean it, dry it, okay, and then spray it. Once you've sprayed it with your beautiful gold, I would say seal it with a clear varnish. Seal it with a clear varnish, and that's a very good DIY. So it's a DIY route for you if you're going to do this sofa yourself, if you're not going to buy it yourself, but there's other ways to achieve it. So there's lots of ways to achieve this sofa for yourself. The balustrade, I would say, if you have an existing balustrade and it's already metal and you quite like it, but you just want to change it, you can as well, you can spray your balustrade. There's just a lot of masking up. If you're going to spray that balustrade before you paint the walls. Before you paint the walls and before you lay the floors, spray the balustrade then. If you're going to spray it gold or antique gold or a antique brass colour, spray it first and then do your decorating afterwards there, because once you've sprayed it, you can always cover the balustrade with sort of paper, sort of the tracing paper or wallpaper. I always get like old wallpaper, cover it with it, mask it off, and then you can carry on and do the rest of the room and it's fine. Okay, so that's the way to go about it. So I'm giving you all sort of tricks of the trade here of how, if you've already got a metal balustrade and you think it's just the wrong colour, it's black, it's like, usually this style is usually in a black, but we want a lovely gold, a gold sort of effervescent looking balustrade. Spray it and then cover it, then you can carry on decorating the rest of your home if you're going to go the DIY route yourself. Same with the balustrade. Maybe the balustrade needs stripping back. So I would say strip it back first, strip the handrail back first, then stain it, then varnish it, and also then so the balustrade, once it's completely done, cover it, okay, and then you can do the rest of it. The floor generally doesn't take as long as you think once you've got a nice clear surface. If you're not going to get somebody else to do it for you, I would say do this last. The first thing you're going to do the ceiling first. You paint the ceiling. Once the ceiling is painted, then you install your light fitting once the ceiling's done, okay? You can paint the ceiling, paint the walls, then get your light fittings installed, light fittings on wall fittings on the wall, light fittings there, installed there. So the walls are painted, the ceilings are painted. So ceiling, paint your way down, okay? Paint all the walls and the ceilings first. Then you put in your electrics, install those fittings there. If you're going to do the DIY and the banister, obviously you're going to do the banister first. Before anything else, cover it. Then you're going to paint the walls, okay? And then you're going to install those, and then it's going to be the floor that's installed last, and then you put your furniture in place, and it's done. The piano in here, it's a wonderful touch, isn't it? It's this beautiful little Steinway baby grand piano there. They're not as expensive as people think they are, okay? Number one, you can get a little piano. There are second-hand piano shops. Just buy a second-hand piano. They recommend that you have it delivered and then have it tuned. Or you can buy those ones that are like these sort of studio pianos, those ones that sort of play tunes themselves. If you don't want it to be one that that you play yourself. or one that you can do a dual aspect with. But I would say if you're going to buy a second-hand piano, buy a second-hand piano. You can get it sprayed. Get it sprayed and then polished. You can renovate it yourself if it's not a black piano. But I would say it's a beautiful touch to have. If you've got the space to put one in your hallway, put one in, and it will sit beautifully next to this wonderful Louis XVI little sofa in there. Now in the foreground we can see this beautiful Lalique table. That's a Lalique table. They are really quite expensive, but absolutely stunning. If you don't want to go the Lalique route to get that Lalique table, what I would say is you can buy a table. Generally, the whole thing will not be glass if it's not a Lalique table, but you can buy one with a glass top, and then the base would probably be wooden, probably have a wooden base, but a glass top. If you're going to go that route, then I would suggest getting the wooden base sprayed in the same gold as the frame of the sofa, so that they will correspond, or you can get it painted or sprayed in the same as the piano. So you can choose whether you want to go the black or the gold, whichever way. As it sits underneath here. If you find you can put more than one light fitting in your hallway, please do so. That just depends how much light you have and how much space you have for it. This is a absolutely superb hallway. It is one of the creme de la creme of hallways, as you can see, and that's why it's in the gold scheme for hallways. But there are other ways that you can make this into even a bronze scheme if you do it yourself, but it will take you at least 2 months. You need to allow yourself time to install this scheme, so 2 months. If you're going to get the professionals to do it, to install it for you, it can take just 2 weeks, and they can do the whole thing for you. But the ordering of everything, this is the thing you need to find out, how long things take to come, and then you can work out your scheduling from there. So I have also within this, I have in the second half of the video, I'm going to be looking at the product suppliers, as I said, and how things are put together. Just the last thing before I finish this is the photo analysis. This photo analysis just tells you how the Mendoza family use this space. So it just tells you how they use this space, okay, in their 20-bed hotel. So that's what that photo analysis talks about. The video that I've just spoken to you about tells you how you can use the space, but this just gives you context, and I think it's nice to have context to see how somebody else would use the space, because that can give us ideas as well about how we could possibly use the space. So this tells you how the Mendoza family use this space as well. So the next part, I have put the keys. As I said, there's a UK key and there's a US key. So that's sort of like a quick sort of overview key. And then the latter part would be the actual bits that you will be printing out, the finishes, and that will be in the next video. So I would love you to join me in the next video as I tell you how we're going to put this scheme together. Now you've decided that you're going to have this colonial look. By the way, just a quick addendum to that. If you decide you're going to have the colonial look in all of your rooms, I would say that is perfectly fine. If you stick to just 4 colours, works really well. You can have more than 4 colours. If that's what you're going to have throughout the rooms. If you want to have a different style, maybe a colonial hallway, and you want to have a shabby chic living room, or you might want to have a contemporary kitchen, the thing that will tie them together, 4 colours. If you have the same 4 colours, whether it's a shabby chic living room, a colonial hallway, a contemporary kitchen, 4 colours. That's what ties everything together. The same 4 colours that you use throughout, that's sort of like a rule of thumb to be able to keep it looking professional and sharp and held together, like it's a one cohesive scheme. Stick to just 4 main colours that tie them all together. If you're not going to go for that eclectic sort of mix of styles, and you want to keep it predominantly colonial or genre of colonial throughout, then you can go for more colours in the rooms to reflect that style, and that will still work well, because the style is what holds the whole scheme together rather than the colour scheme. So that's just something to bear in mind if that's something that you want to do. Please join me for the second half of the video, where I'm going to talk to you about section 3 and 4 and how we implement that and actually get the scheme together, and we just put that all together and we start on our journey, a very exciting journey whereby you will change your story and in turn change your life. Thank you.